This is you. An individual with ideas, aspirations and goals in mind. And even though it feels like you're alone sometimes, you are not. You are part of a way bigger system, like a workplace, a social group or a political organization. Therefore, being part of a system means recognizing the power dynamics at play and taking responsibility for your own actions within that context. At least, that's what this man says.
So without further ado, please welcome one of the world's great public intellectuals, Jordan Peterson.
You may have seen some of Jordan Peterson's videos where he talks about all that stuff on social media. And his message really hit home for many younger people, particularly young men who are feeling lost or isolated from society. They found his guidance on personal growth and identity to be especially helpful and meaningful. But how did this, and this all start? How and especially why did Jordan Peterson become so famous? Sit back, because this is a tale worth telling.
You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
So, you've probably seen this video. The title is The Video That Made Jordan Peterson Famous.
I want to go talk to Peterson. Peterson, do you have any comments on the Nazi presence at your protest?
This is actually not the video that made Jordan Peterson famous. It's called Professor Against Political Correctness, Part 1, Fear and the Law. In this video, Jordan Peterson disagreed with the Canadian government's Bill C-16, which wanted to add gendered identity or expression to the Canadian Human Rights Act to stop discrimination. He thought this could force people to talk a certain ways, and he said he wouldn't use his students' preferred gender pronouns. But why did it have such an effect? After all, it's said by a relatively unknown professor at the time of the University of Toronto. Well, here's what Jordan Peterson has to say about that.
Well, with Bill C-16, which was the bill that I was complaining about, or criticizing, let's say, there's a variety of surrounding policy documents that are derived from the Ontario Human Rights Commission, and they indicate quite clearly that you're to regard biological sex, gender identity, gender expression, and sexual proclivity as varying independently, which of course they don't. By any stretch of the imagination, they're so tightly correlated that, well, you can't use correlation to imply cause or to infer causality, but Jesus, when the correlations are above 0.95, you have to start wondering if there's actually not some causal link, and it's absurd to me that we really even have to have that discussion.
I think that, in addition to that, there are a few historical factors that could help explain why Jordan Peterson's message resonated so strongly with so many people. Well, first of all, we've seen this big change in our culture over the last few decades, where we've got a lot of talk about political correctness and identity politics. And for some folks, they're just feeling like their freedom of expression and that personal independence is being compromised. This has caused a lot of frustration and isolation among some people who feel like ideas and values are being ignored or shut down, all in the name of being progressive. Think about it. We're living in a time where people are constantly walking on eggshells, afraid of saying the wrong thing and getting cancelled. It's like we can't even express our own opinions anymore without being labeled as insensitive or bigoted. And it's just not about what we say, it's about how we act too. Suddenly, everything we do is being scrutinized under a microscope. And if we don't conform to the latest politically correct standards, we're automatically seen as outcasts. No wonder so many people are feeling frustrated and alienated this day. Next up, the internet and social media have made it easier for people to find information from different sources and connect with others who share their interests. This has helped people who might have felt left out or alone in the past to find a sense of belonging and community. Finally, some people are fed up with the usual politicians and leaders because they feel like they aren't being heard or represented. This is where someone like Jordan Peterson comes in, offering a unique and unconventional message that challenges the status quo. And the fact that his views on gender and identity have been so controversial has actually made more people interested in what he has to say. But is that all? No, there's more.
What are they liberating themselves from? Brassieres and high heels. Female appurtenances that they think mark them as women who accept an ideal of femininity dictated by men.
Okay, so feminism has been around for a while now, and it's all about making sure women have the same rights as men. And that's great. But some people think that sometimes feminism have become too strict and close-minded, making it hard for other perspectives to be heard. Jordan Peterson stands against political correctness and being forced to say certain things that can be seen as a reaction to this kind of thinking. It's all about personal responsibility and freedom. Next to that, good old postmodernism.
You see, the postmodernists completely reject the structure of Western civilization.
In modern intellectual circles, there's this thing called postmodernism that challenges the notion of objective truth and reality. Some folks see it as useful for questioning the dominant narratives and power structures, but others think it's gone too far and it's eroding the foundation of knowledge and reason. So, Peterson's focus on personal responsibility and objective truth can be viewed as a reaction to this perceived excess. Another factor that has contributed to Jordan Peterson's appeal is the perception of a dominant patriarchy in feminist and progressive circles. While gender inequality is undoubtedly a serious issue, some people think that the focus on patriarchy has become too much, creating a culture of victimhood and a feeling of helplessness. Peterson's message of personal responsibility and individual agency can be seen as a response to this culture of victimhood. He emphasizes the importance of individual rather than collective identities like patriarchy as a way to counteract these perceived dominance. Jordan Peterson has attracted a considerable following, but his views have also faced substantial criticism on several fronts. Opponents challenge his stance on gender and identity, his understanding of postmodernism and Marxism, his opinions on religion, and his approach to psychology and mental health. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the end of this video, it's clear that Jordan Peterson's rise to fame was not solely due to one video. It was a combination of historical factors that contributed to his message resonating with so many people. Despite the controversy surrounding Jordan Peterson's views, it is undeniable that his work has had a profound impact on many individuals, encouraging personal growth and a sense of individual responsibility. His message has inspired countless people to take control of their lives and pursue their own goals, and for that, he deserves credit. Thank you for watching.